Hey guys, Fazzy back here, and it is finally time for episode 4 of our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode here in NHL 25. And we have a rather important off-season here today. So we will be holding, I want to say it's the 4th overall pick. It's been a little bit since I've recorded one of these, but that would mean like a Porter Martone, Anton Frundell, Michael Misa, Arbukin. There's a lot of good options here for us. It's just, what direction do we really want to go in? Obviously, the top 3 likely not going to be available. Porter Martone, 50 goal scorer, NHL ready. I want to say any of these guys, we probably won't play them the first year. We'll probably give them another year to develop, depending on overall, of course. But yeah, I don't really know what direction I want to go in at the moment. I would like to get another centerman just to kind of replace the aging Crosby and Malkin. But, you know, Porter Martone, big 6'3" winger, is hard to pass on that as well. So we have some tough decisions here we have to make in the draft. But let's get to it. So the Sharks on the clock do end up taking James Higgins. Tarasov goes to the Blue Jackets, and Korston goes to the Carolina Hurricanes. So that leaves us with number 4. What do we want to do here? Even a Matthew Schaefer on defense, he's a year out. Again, we don't really need him right now. But there's a lot of really good options here. Obviously, it's going to be one of these top guys that is guaranteed medium elite. It's just, who do we want to go with? I keep kind of wanting to go with Frundell, but I don't really remember what I have him set at player type wise. I think it's just so hard to pass on a Porter Martone. Player type, the size, goal scoring ability on him. I think we almost have to go with Porter Martone here. I say we do it. From the Brampton Steelheads, the Pittsburgh Penguins are proud to select Porter Martone. And he is 78 medium elite, power forward. It's a great pick right there. So we're not picking again till 67. Is there anything else we want to really do here? Is there any salary we want to clear here before we move into free agency here a little bit later? So let's see, going down here, obviously a lot of clauses here, but we still can move some of these guys that are modified no trade clauses, so just gonna have to kind of work with a player on that one. But honestly, these guys, I don't mind holding on to them. Like a Noel Chari there, he's dropping off 75 overall, making $2 million. I say we just kind of do whatever we can here just to get rid of that $2 million. Again, it's just extra money we can use in free agency. So let's just go to Utah there. I saw they were on his list. Let's just see if we can do like a 7th round pick swap. I don't know if that will work here with the salary involved. So 7th round pick from Utah. Let's go find Noel Chari. Don't see him there. Let's sort by salary. Let's just do it by forward. That's probably easiest. Because yeah, if we can get that extra $2 million, again, we're going to be hopefully pretty active in free agency. I have a lineup I kind of have drawn up here, but so let's just throw on the 7th there. Still trade rejected. Let's just throw on the 2nd, 7th, honestly. It's the first year draft. There's normally not that good of players available late. Trade accepted. So $2 million coming to us there for free agency. That is always good. Go take a look at how the first round went. So obviously the 2 made up medium elite guys, and you have Frundell 78, Misa 77. Draft class is actually looking pretty good, I think, for the most part of how we ended up creating it. And honestly, not as many made up guys here as I thought we were going to end up seeing. So yeah, honestly, that looks pretty good for a first round to me. So with our 2nd round pick, 67 overall, you have Cale Dock there. A lot of these guys I made or edited. I don't obviously remember each and every one of them, but I do recognize quite a few of these names. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to maybe go goalie here? I see a Bonkovic there. He's pretty good. Daigle, I know he's a high starter as well. What direction do we want to go? So 912, 2.80, 918, 2.66. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning more toward Ivankovic here. Again, he's a player that I don't see a lot of people taking in franchise mode, where everyone takes Gabriel Daigle, and they're the same players, so same potential, everything like that. 65 high starter, so he will definitely be, you know, competing with a guy like Blomqvist down the road for who's going to end up being our starting goalie. So I'm guessing, yeah, I'll show you guys Daigle here when he ends up getting drafted. I guess he hasn't gone just yet. Who else do we have available? Dante Bracco. Shout out to Jeremy Bracco's brother coming up in this year's draft. Let's just go with this Clayson guy. Medium top 4, right in front of us. Can't go wrong with that. Looks like we actually have back-to-back picks here. Is there anyone here that's really standing out? Scouts did do a great job this year, if I'm being honest. A lot of goalies going around this range. Obviously, we already got our guy. Outside of that, I'm not saying much. Sorting by potential. Another medium elite goalie. We can wait on him. He's at 180 though, so I don't really need to take him now. Let's just go with Bracco. I know he's not great. Medium top 6. And we actually have 3 picks in a row. Interesting. I think I'm going to just try and find a trade for this pick. Maybe even the next one. No one really on the board that I'm all that interested in. See if we can just get like a 3rd from next year. Let's see. So going through, Vancouver 3rd from Calgary. Get Tenorti. Honestly, why not? And 99. That's like 7 picks. So let's just get rid of that one. See if we can get a 4th from next year. The Colorado Avalanche. Throw in a low top 6 defenseman prospect. We will take that. So now we won't pick for a little bit here. I'll see if we can find Daigle here. He goes to San Jose. 65 high starter. So couldn't really make a wrong decision there. I think they'll both be pretty good in franchise mode here. So going on to the 5th round, so you have this Makinen guy. Potential medium top 6, probably not. Is there anyone else really around here? There's a lot of unknowns. I'm not really seeing anything else. You have Kettles, maybe medium top 4. I doubt it being a real life player. Let's just go with this Makinen guy. He is medium top 9. Honestly, for the 5th round, it's not the end of the world. And with our final pick, I want to say in the NHL draft, who do we want to take? So right off the bat, you have Hopkins, but he's not going to be anything being a real life player. Honestly, oh, you actually have that medium elite goalie that we saw earlier. Let's just take him here. Last pick in the draft, 48 overall medium elite. So definitely going to be a project there, but I am fine with picking up an extra prospect goalie. Probably just use him as a trade chip down the road. So honestly, I think really happy with that draft. I think it looks really, really good. I'm going to sim ahead here. I'm going to take care of all the coaching staff and scouts, and I will meet back with you guys in just a second. Alright, so we are ready to proceed. Only had a few AHL coaches, ended up just letting them go. Nothing too crazy there. So starting out on the re-sign stage, let's go to all expiring. So Tyler Gauthier, what's his name again? 73, it is Taylor. Honestly, at this point, I don't think we really need him. We already have a decent amount of young goalies. He's not going to become anything, so let's get the extra roster spot, released him. Going over to the defensive side of things, so not too much. Obviously, Jacob Bernard-Docker didn't have a great run with us, but I'm not ready to give up on him at age 24. What is he looking at for a contract? 1.8. Honestly, let's just qualify him for now. We'll see what kind of money we have a little bit later. Oliver Shillington. He had a very decent little run with us. 2.2. Not opposed to it. Let's just wait. Hayden Fleury. 1.4. Kind of the same situation. Again, wants a 2-year deal. Don't really want to do that. And then we have a lot of these guys that are just going to be medium 7th defensive potential. Like even Shea there wants over $1 million. So a lot of these guys will get released here. Kral here actually, we can qualify him. We're going to need some people to play in the AHL. Holloway at 26, 74, don't need him. And then we just have some prospects down here. We'll sign all the 3 of these guys, because why not? There's free prospects. Kangas, I want to see, he was a former 7th rounder of the Pens. We will take him. And then Romain, I believe he was the guy that we just got in the trade back with the 4th round pick. So the defensive side of things is taken care of. Let's go to the forwards. So Cody Glass, our top player that needs a contract. I don't mind him being in the bottom 6. Not asking for too much. Let's go 1.5. So we have Mikhail Ilyin here. Real life prospect for the Penguins, been ripping it up in the KHL. Let's give him a deal. O'Connor, Kachuk, we already decided those guys are gone. Nieto is going to go. Ponomarov, definitely want to keep him around. Was a decent part of that Jake Gensel return from a couple years ago. Puljärvi, honestly, at this point, we can let him go. Same with Benstrom. Don't need those guys. Hollander, you know, maybe one more year we can give him a qualifying offer. And outside of that, might be a couple of prospects, but I think the majority of these guys will get released. Yeah, we have like a Cruz Lucius, also part of that Jake Gensel deal, brother of Chaz. Outside of that, we have Sam Plant down there. We have Yarventi, we'll probably end up giving him a deal too. Plant is good, or Plant is good. Yarventi, a low 9, we'll still give him an offer. Why not? We'll see what he can become. And then these last two guys, I think that's going to be it. So it's Simade. Cody Glass says no, and he's the only guy to actually give a response to us. So we have a few guys left we have to make a decision on. Not qualifying Glass just because of the money. Honestly, if you want to go the 2 years, let's bring the money down. Let's go 1.4. You'll play bottom 6 minutes. Shillington, what do we want to do? You also want a 2-year. Would you go maybe... Yeah, he really doesn't want that 1 year. 2x2? Can we get the money down again? Let's see what he says. And then lastly, Hayden Fleury. And Fleury is a guy I think is a little bit more replaceable. I'm not opposed to circling around with in free agency and trying to get him again, but I'll let him go for now. Shillington does say yes, and Cody Glass does say yes. So that takes care of all our business in the re-sign stage. Just have to get those qualifying offers signed, and we are ready to go. So I have a projected lineup here that I've kind of been, working on, and this is going to kind of include our plan for free agency. So let me pop that on screen here. So heading into free agency, we're going to need a top line winger, we're going to need a couple of bottom 6 forwards, and a top pairing defenseman. Outside of that, I am actually totally alright with letting some of these younger guys play. Give a Rutger McGroarty his time on ice on that second line. I'm assuming he's going to end up growing over the summer. Same thing goes with Olsen, same thing goes with Matthew Savoy. Again, a Porter Martone won't be making the team, I don't think, this first year, but it still gives us some options here of what we want to do and what we want this team to look like. So, I don't know, it'll be interesting. Let's see who's in free agency, let's see what our options are like. So actually, one thing here I do want to do quickly before we get into free agency, I want to go and look at maybe seeing if anyone will take on Nedeljkovic's contract. He has 1 more year left at $2.5 million, and you saw there from the depth chart, Blomqvist is more or less ready to be the backup, if not a fringe starter, 80 overall already, so can we just clear out $2.5 million, still 82 overall for 1 more year, didn't have the best year for us, so I think it's time to move on. Let's go to goalies, let's just go to the fine trade, see if there's any offers out there. Carolina wants him back for Montgomery. Outside of that, there's actually a decent amount of offers. 4th rounder from the Stars, 3rd from the Islanders. Don't really know if I want to send him to a divisional rival. Tampa with a bunch of offers. Honestly, I'm thinking maybe just that 3rd from the Jets there. Not in the conference or the division. And he can get a fresh start as a backup to Hellebuck. Alright, so now that we have a little bit more money cleared, let's see what our options are and see who is in free agency. So the big fish in this year's free agency, Brock Besser at an 87. Oh, unfortunately, 87 is the high here. Not amazing. You have Nyquist, Giroux, Jamie Benn. I don't love these options here, if I'm being honest. Pettersson, top defender. Honestly, I'm not opposed to bringing him back potentially. How did he do in Edmonton when we traded him there? Obviously part of the Savoy trade. But plus 18 in 20 games. Wow. So we had a bit of a career resurgence there in a very short sample size, but outside of that, defensively, it's not great there. So I would be open to bringing Pettersson back. Let's see, he only wants $5 million just over for 4 years. Doesn't even really want a clause on there. Honestly, I'm fine with overpaying him. I wouldn't mind doing 3 years, kind of keep our window together a little bit more. We can even offer him trade protection if he wants. We don't have to do a full no move clause. We can do modified. I can do like an 8-team no trade clause. Should get the value up there, even a 4. Honestly, we could go 5 for 4. Let's start the negotiations. I've never actually messed around with this yet, so let's see if we can get his organizational interest up. So what are our options? Should we try and charm him? Honestly, why not? Let's see. And success. Okay, so that's good. So What else do we want to do here? Let's let's just go to the contract. We don't need to inquire about other teams. Okay, so the years. So, like I was saying, I wouldn't mind doing 3 years instead of 4. 4 is not the end of the world. Let's try for 3. So he doesn't love it, but it's alright. So he still has a salary expectation of 1.75 million. Let's see, can we improve the offer? Maybe we should do that, try and add a clause. I don't know if I'm going to do this for every player. We'll have to see here. So let's go and improve the offer. Let's see if we can maybe give him a little bit more money, give him that trade protection. So let's see how this works. So he won't say no to that, so increase salary right there. So he's wanting 5.175, so we can improve it 100k, 250k, 350k. Honestly, like extra 250k a year, I wouldn't mind doing that. What do you say? Proposal is not quite what he's looking for. See how we can explore or improve the terms. Okay, so let's go to clauses. Let's see if we can give him a clause now. Is that going to improve anything? So a modified no trade. We're not going to do a full, we'll do a reduced. And then where are the options here? Oh, up top there. So I don't want to do 16 and 12. I was just looking at maybe around 8. So we still have options to move him if we want. So 8, 8, and 4 for years 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, let's say what you say to that. Proposal is still not what he's looking for. Can promise him like he's going to be a top 4, if not a top pairing defenseman. Let's see, is that going to help him improve the option? Let's do top 4 just so we have options where we want to play him. Still not good enough. I don't really know if I like this whole conversation thing. Let's just go and offer him the deal. I don't know if that hurt our chances, if it helped us. Well, I guess we'll find out here very shortly. Alright, so what do we want to do? Let's start with the clause again. I talked about it. We'll do like a 8-team, no movement clause. You could pick your teams. Let's spike that salary up. Let's go 5.5 for 3. Like, the interest is still up there. He really wants that 4th year, though. Do we just do it? We can still move him, honestly. Let's see what he says. I think there's a decent enough chance we get him. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, buoy him there. This is prior to getting, hopefully, a bunch of those contract fixes and games to lie of, where it just cuts the players. So I'm just going to leave them there for now. I'm not going to sign them. The AI is dumb enough to let them go. They can go wherever they want. It does suck to see, though, for franchise mode. Do have Hayden Fleury down there still. Outside of that, a lot of these defensemen, I think they'll come down in price, so don't need to worry about that right at the moment. Looking at forwards here, so we need a top line winger. We need that. We need a couple of bottom 6 players. What do we want to do here? So Jamie Benn, that instantly stands out. He fits the timeline. He's still producing. He's an older player, would mesh well with our core. Still putting up, 60 plus points a year. But Brock Besser there also. He's a little bit younger. He wants a lot more money. But he is one of those players that could definitely slot in on that top line. And he actually fits there on the top forward line of this current coach. So I think I'm still leaning toward Jamie Benn a little bit more. I just don't want to do a 7-year commitment for Brock Besser, especially with him being only 87 overall. I mean, we have the money. I don't know. I don't love that signing. Well, it's a full no move. And yeah, if we want to get his years down at all, like he doesn't love the contract offer. He wants that full max deal. Even 10 million bucks isn't a guarantee that we get him. But then you have Jamie Benn, 86 overall, doesn't want as much money. I think that's probably the direction that we go on. We can give him a full no move or no trade to help out that offer. Honestly, let's go modified no trade. Maybe the first year we wouldn't trade him, and then if we're not in it the second year, we can maybe look to explore a trade. Let's go 6.350. He loves the contract. Organization fit's not amazing, but it's not bad either. See what he says to that offer. And then we just need 2 bottom 6-ish players to fill in on the 4th line. So you have a Ryan Donato that's kind of stands out. Obviously in Chicago, he's going to be playing a little bit more ice time, but still putting up 27, 30 points. Wouldn't mind bringing him in for that 4th line. And he wants that multi-year deal, though. I really don't want to do that for someone who's playing 4th line, give him like a 3-year deal. Maybe Appleton, we can maybe do 2 on a guy like that. It's been a great bottom 6 guy there for Winnipeg for a while. Honestly, let's see. How do you... Yeah, 1 year, just not going to work. Okay, so let's do 2 years, but let's bring the money down. You want that extra year of security. Let's go 1.8. We'll bring it down a little bit. Then one more guy here for the bottom line. We have 23 million bucks, so we'll be spending a little bit, but I think we'll still have a good amount of money remaining. So let's go with a Travis Boyd. He can fill in a good vet as well. Again, really doesn't like that 1 year deal. For him, I'm willing to spend a little bit more just because he's older, and we will give him that contract offer. But outside of that, I think that's all, the big business that we really wanted to take care of here in free agency. Again, can we maybe extend some people now? Actually, yeah, we can. Evgeny Malkin. I wouldn't mind getting this deal done. He's going to be a Penguin for life. Blomqvist there we can maybe look at after. Malkin, what are you looking at for an extension? So he wants 2 years. That fits in rather well with the window. I'm fine with doing a 2-year deal. Loves the contract, loves the organization. That's great. So Malkin, maybe we can go a full no move because we're not going to be moving on from him. I definitely would not be opposed to giving him that, just giving us a little extra leverage. Can bring the money down a little bit more because he still loves the contract. 7.5 for 2. Let's see what Malkin will say to that. Hayes, Bunting, those guys I'm fine with leaving for now. Olsen, again, we can wait. We don't need to pay a guy. That's 78 over 2 million bucks. And Blomqvist, what were you looking at? 3 million bucks. So have a feeling he's gonna end up growing, but we will pay him when we need to. So I guess let's just sim here. Let's see what happens, who we end up getting here. Really, really hope we can get Ben. So Appleton signs on. Ben goes to Tampa. Dang. Team meets his needs better. Malkin extends. That's awesome. And Marcus Pettersson goes to Washington. So we missed out on our top line forward, and we missed out on our top pairing defenseman. Oh, that's great. So who is still available here? So the options are definitely quite a bit limited here. Don't love a lot of these options. Honestly, maybe Ryan Lindgren. It's going to be overpaying an 84 a little bit. But he is a great defensive defenseman. Absolutely can play that top 4, if not top pair. Honestly, he's the best option I think we have without, spending assets to make a trade. Again, he doesn't love the organization, but he likes the contract. So he doesn't want a clause. I think we can probably give him a clause. Just not a full no move or no trade. Again, let's just do like an 8-team trade clause. So if we really do need to, we can move him. See what you say to that offer. Just try and get someone in here. And then forward, Claude Giroux. As much as I really, really do want to bring in Claude Giroux, he's not going to end up signing in Pittsburgh. With all his years as a Flyer, the legacy he leaves there, he would be a perfect fit for this team. The age, the core, everything, but I just can't do it. And then you have Jeff Skinner under him. Do we really want to be spending all that money on Jeff Skinner? Just not really sold. And he's a guy who's already 33. At least Lindgren was a little bit younger. Still, both guys want a 4-year deal. And outside of that, there's no one here that's going to be a good enough replacement on that first line. So we might have to go the trade option there for the first line winger. Let's see if we can get Lindgren here at least. Sim a few days. And beautiful, we do end up getting Ryan Lindgren to join the team. So at least we kind of fill that hole in the defense. Ponomarov gets an offer sheet, we will match that. But yeah, let me go take a look. We'll see if I can find some trades and see if there's any options for that top line winger. So after looking around the league, I think I found a deal here that makes sense for both teams. So we're sending a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th round pick to Detroit. We have a ton of draft picks in this year's draft, so I don't mind giving up any as long as they're not the first rounder, for a guy like Vladimir Tarasenko. Another pending UFA. We're on his trade list. 86 overall, still puts up 50 plus points, fits the first line. I think he would be a great member and would fit in great with the core of the Penguins, and trade accepted. So we got our top line winger. Let me go and sign just a couple of guys for the AHL, and I'll make up the roster, and I will meet you guys back at the preseason. Alright, so I put the lines together, and I actually don't mind the look of this team. I think we might have a decent chance this year. So first line of Tarasenko, Crosby, and Rust. Honestly, +3, I'm very happy with that. We could move Russ down with Malkin to get the +5. If we need to, we can. Bunting McGroarty on the second line grew to an 82. Fits great on the second line. Love to see it. Yeah, Mikael Ilyin here, 81 overall. Again, real life prospect who's done really, really good for the Penguins. Grew to an 81 overall over the summer. Makes his debut on the third line with Hayes and Savoy. And then Olofsson here unfortunately falls to the fourth, but we can give him some other ice time in other spots. Then defensively, it's more or less pretty much the same. I would love to get a better result on that bottom pairing, but something we might have to work with throughout the series. And then Jari and Blomqvist, and had to sign Phil. He's coming back to Pittsburgh. Will he play for us at any point? Who knows? Probably not, but Phil Kessel is rejoining the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's just sim through the preseason, and then I will call it for today's video. See how this team will end up performing. But it's interesting, it's kind of more of like a mix of the younger and older guys. Like, you think of the Penguins and it's a lot of an older core, but you have a guy like Savoy, you have a guy like McGroarty, you have a Porter Martone in the wings. We have that next core that's starting to get assembled, so I kind of like the mix that we have right now, and hopefully we can turn it around and hopefully we can have a rebound season here, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So finishing the preseason, we go 3-4. Not amazing, but it is the preseason. Look at the stats for everyone here very quickly, and let's see how these players did together. So Malkin leading the way with 10 points. It's awesome to see. Bunting right behind him. Some pretty good numbers. Crosby with 6, Tarasenko with 4, Savoy only 1, McGroarty 0, Ilyin 0. So we definitely kind of got to watch these young guys. Again, it's just the preseason, but if the trend continues, we'll have to make some changes defensively, and guy like Jari definitely does have to turn it around if we want to see success this season. But I think that is going to do it for today's video. Definitely a little bit of a longer one, but I think this team is set up hopefully for a pretty decent season. I don't know. In the next episode, we will go through the first half of the 2025-26 season, and we'll kind of see what direction this team is on. But that will do it for today's video. I will see you all in the next one.